Everything we do begins with why? Because you are our reason. We're transforming lives through energy, empowering communities. Because we feel you and we fuel you. We've seen the impact of cleaner energy and social responsibility through innovation and care, with safety as a core value. So, as we progress together, weather the storms, journey through the stations in life, you can be sure of Shell. We are here to stay. Dear Malaysia, let's make the future.
How do you define a brand? Can you touch, hear, smell, taste, and see it? How do you build your brand? Craft your story, engage your audience, and deliver returns that exceed expectations? The Pico Group understands brands. We translate your brand into amazing experiences, crafted specifically to activate with your audience. People need to feel your brand, so we unpack it. We define emotional touchpoints and brand destinations, then craft experiential journeys that carry your audience there. People need to engage with your brand. We amplify and celebrate your brand and drive growth beyond expectations. We create transformative experiences that deliver exceptional results for the best brands around the globe by merging experiential, communications, and technological talent. So who are we? We are diverse, we are unified, we are global. The Pico Group is a worldwide network of agencies that merge experiential communications and technological talent to create powerful and engaging experiences that activate brands. For over 50 years, Pico has leveraged the platforms of its agencies and the expertise of the best people to become one of the most effective global independent agency networks in the world. We are agile, creative and experiential. We are leaders, thinkers and makers. Transforming perceptions. We are Pico.
Nederlanders doen zaken over de hele wereld, al eeuwenlang. Op diverse plekken zijn er levendige NL Business Hubs van ondernemers die elkaar ondersteunen en verrijken met kennis en ervaring op die markt. Deze NL Business Hubs kunnen opereren onder verschillende namen, zoals Netherlands Business Council, Holland House of Dutch Business Network. NL Business heeft het initiatief genomen deze communities met elkaar te verbinden door het NL Business Hubs netwerk.
Er zijn zoveel Nederlandse ondernemers die mooie producten maken waar veel vraag naar is in het buitenland. De vraag is alleen waar. Dat is toch vaak zoeken naar een speld in een hooiberg. NL Business ondersteunt deze ondernemers met het selecteren van de juiste landen en brengt hen in contact met een mondiaal netwerk van NL Business Hubs. In de landen staan de Business Hubs klaar om samen met de ondernemer te werken aan het definiëren van de juiste markten, het vinden van de goede partners en het maken van een market entry strategie, waardoor de ondernemer succesvol een nieuwe markt kan betreden.
Door het creëren van een mondiaal netwerk wordt het voor Nederlandse ondernemers makkelijker om een nieuwe markt te betreden. Bijvoorbeeld ondernemers die nu in Duitsland actief zijn, wordt het zo makkelijker gemaakt om eens te gaan kijken in Polen, Frankrijk of Italië. Vanuit de Verenigde Staten is het een kleine stap naar Mexico of Colombia. In Zuidoost-Azië liggen de markten met grote groeikansen dicht bij elkaar.
Vorig jaar in contact gekomen met NL Business bij de missie van Sigrid Kaag naar Vietnam. En het is ongelooflijk handig dat je mensen hebt die de follow-up kunnen geven.
De eerste stap voor export is lastig. Bij het exporteren naar Colombia, ik denk dat ieder Nederlands bedrijf heeft een gezonde dosis pioniersgeest. Dat is de basis. Maar je zoekt ook ondersteuning en hulp. En vooral in landen met een andere cultuur. Daarbij spreek je collega-bedrijven die ervaring hebben. Maar ook een hele goede ondersteuning geeft bijvoorbeeld Holland House. Die kent het land, die kent de cultuur. En je krijgt in hele korte tijd heel veel en goede informatie over het land waarnaar je wil exporteren.
Door de onderlinge verbinding kunnen de NL Business Hubs ook van elkaar leren en best practices uitwisselen, regionaal en mondiaal.
Wij merken heel sterk dat het voor de Nederlandse ondernemers soms best lastig is om te zien wat is een goede partij en wat is een minder goede partij die ons kan ondersteunen in de opkomende markten buiten Europa.
Met de steun van NL Business ontstaan zo sterke netwerken van Nederlandse ondernemers en lokale servicepartners. Daardoor zijn ze makkelijk vindbaar en weten ondernemers zich verzekerd van een goed en beproefd kwaliteitsnetwerk. Laat NL Business je met het NL Business Hubs netwerk vooruit helpen. Sluit je aan, maak gebruik van het netwerk. Zo gaat een wereld voor je open en wordt internationaal zaken doen net zo makkelijk als ondernemen in Nederland.
Welkom bij de NL Business Hub hier in Bangkok.
Welcome to the Netherlands Business Council UAE.
Welkom bij de Malaysian Dutch Business Council.
Welkom bij de NL Business Hub in Ho Chi Minh City.
Welkom bij Holland House Mexico.
We will show the round of slides 2 more times for the people who have just tuned in. Welcome everybody. So 2 more rounds of slides and then we're going to start the program. Thank you. Hello, everyone. We're with 86 at the moment. Fantastic lineup. And I think there's more people that have joined via our YouTube and our auditorium in the virtual platform that we maintain as well, the Kivel. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon in Asia and ASEAN, and good morning in the Netherlands. My name is Marco Winter, the Executive Director of the Malaysian Dutch Business Council, welcoming you on behalf of the MDBC Board of Directors and the MDBC team. We're very excited to have you join us for our 2021 kickoff, the start of MDBC's 25th anniversary. It's really fantastic, and it means a lot to the MDBC team and myself that you're here to make it happen with this kickoff. We would like you to keep your cameras on, but if it's not your time, your turn to speak, please mute yourself. And of course, for the speakers later, don't forget to unmute yourself as usually happens. Today, we're having an incredible lineup of guests from government, diplomatic, and corporate sectors, new members and new friends, but we also managed to bring together completely the generation that was part of MDBC 25 years ago at our foundation in 96 and the launch in 97. All are either logging in live now or have sent some video messages. From Malaysia and Asia, from the Netherlands and Europe, but also from South Africa and the Middle East. All three patrons, our former Ministers of International Trade and Industry, the current and not less than 6 former Netherlands ambassadors, former, current, and even future embassy colleagues have logged in. I believe 3 of my 4 predecessors as ED between 1996 and 2003 are joining as well. 5 out of 6 honorary members, 2 former vice chairmen from the Netherlands, our MDBC Penang chapter and Johor chapter current and former representatives, guests that play or played an active role in the bilateral relations in the Netherlands, including former Malaysian ambassador to the Netherlands and Mrs., and the current chargé d'affaires, our MDBC board of directors, and of course, our members. We had already said that we want to organize this 25th anniversary year with and for our members. Many of you have given valuable input on your business lessons learned during this past year. So we're going to start with a video, the first video compilation on your sharing. Here comes the first sharing from best business practices learned.
Creative partnerships and the digital economy can create a better world for all.
Conducting business activities virtually can be effective. It's a mindset thing.
Take care of your staff's and supplier safety first.
Even during a worldwide pandemic, growth was possible, and people were more flexible than expected.
Staying lean and mean, and having excellent virtual demo, sales and service tools.
Working from home can be highly productive if people are provided with the right tools.
Don't be afraid to change or try something different from what you're already familiar with. Together, you're stronger.
Be resilient and move on. Turn the setback into an opportunity to rise again.
Cash is king.
We need to stick together, even though we need physical distancing, to find the collective strength and energy to overcome the impact of the crisis. Happy 25th anniversary to MDBC.
Marco, you're mute. You see? All right, thank you, Remco. Yes, I fall in my own trap. All right, thank you to our members for your sharing. More will come later in this program. We would like to get to know our audience a little bit. Therefore, we have a quick poll for your participation, just to see how long you've been associated with the MDBC. All right, can we have the first poll, please? I don't see it yet. All right, there were quite some options there, all the way back from 1996 to, of course, the last few years. All right, can we have the results on screen, please? Just to have a bit of a feel of the audience today. All right, most people since 2011, indeed, starting with our 15th anniversary, and of course, more recent. But yeah, still 13% for the first few years. Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us again today. All right, after that, now it's my pleasure to start the first part of the program, to pass the microphone to MDBC Vice Chairman Remco Koster, who've been associated with MDBC for a really long time. And Remco will go into conversation with three special guests. Remco, go ahead with your introductions.
Yes, Marco, thank you very much. Thanks all the audience for coming. I think we almost reached 100, so that's great to see. Yeah, I would like to start this conversation with three special guests that we have today. First of all, we have Yang Bahagia Tan Sri Rafida Hassis. She's actually the MDBC founding patron from 1996, Member of Parliament for 35 years and Minister of International Trade for a unique period of 22 years, the longest serving Minister of Trade in the world at that time. Second, we have Netherlands Ambassador to Malaysia, His Excellency Art Jacobi, who's posted in Malaysia since 2019 after previous ambassador postings in China and Japan. And thirdly, we have MDBC Chairman Zainul Rahim, who's had an illustrious career at Shell, including 2 postings in the Netherlands, and currently Chairman of Hibiscus Petroleum. Zainul has been MDBC Chairman since 2014 and still going strong. Sorry. And I would like to start the conversation. It's going to be a freestyle conversation with our three guests. And I would like to start off just with a couple of questions. And the first question is to Tan Sri Rafida. Welcome. Yeah, I would like to know from you how the MDBC has evolved since your first association with the Council in 1997, which is a long time ago. Tan Sri, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Remco. I would like to say hello to everybody who's following us. And first of all, my heartiest congratulations to MDBC for your quarter century anniversary, 25 years, a quarter century. And I would like to say that you have been on an upward trajectory of development, both in membership and activities I've been going through. And I hope that this will be a landmark year where you progress moving forward, having the experience of this blank 2020 of COVID pandemic, when not much could actually be done physically, because this gave us pause for MDBC, for example, to actually revamp your projects and programs and maybe reshape the path for the future in order to raise the level of participation and activities within the council, as well as enhance the performance of your members in their respective fields. So, for a start, that's what I like to say. Take this 25th year of your existence as the benchmark year to move forward.
Well, thank you, Tan Sri. for that interesting addition. Secondly, Zainul, can you also give some comments? You've been involved since 2008, quite a long time, and as I said, chairman since 2014, and quite successfully so. Yeah, please, we're looking forward to hearing a few words from you about this as well.
Where is he?
Zainul, you're still on mute.
Not even visual.
Yeah, I can see Zainul.
No, I can't.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now, Zainul.
My apologies. Yes, I'm getting old.
Not that old.
2014 was when I was appointed chairman and really joined the board and the MDBC in a big way. And I must say things have really moved on since 2014. I mean, first of all, I've gone to 3 ambassadors now. You know, Harry Molina, the first one, who actually persuaded me with Marco to join, and then Karin followed on. And now we have Art. So that's great. But the MDBC itself has been helmed by one and only person really who's done a lot of the company. And if you look at the MDBC itself, the one constant that hasn't changed all these years, actually, besides Remco, is Marco. Marco has been all along with us from almost day one. And the progress that we have done is quite a bit. I mean, the big thing is, of course, we look at, you know, the business services that we provide, the representation that we provide for members, as well as the networking. But I think for 2020, particularly, we have managed to demonstrate to members the value add of MDBC in a huge way, in a really apparent way, and people really began to appreciate what value MDBC can give members. That was what the MDBC did in 2020, and the pandemic really is the cause of this showcase of our value add. And I must really look up to the management of MDBC, headed by Marco, who actually did a tremendous job to give members all the information update that they required, because lots of companies were panicking what to do during the pandemic. And I'm sure there were 100 phone calls to the management office, and we managed it well. I think Marco and his team managed it extremely well, and I must take my hat off to them. And so besides that, of course, MDBC as well has been growing in number, and Marco and his team have been building up the membership number. We're not quite there yet at 500, Karin. I know you mentioned 500 in Johor. We're not quite there yet, Marco. You still have a long way to go. But I think all in all, since 2014, we have seen lots of progress. The satisfaction survey has shown that members in general are happy with the services provided. So just keep it on, keep going on that way. Don't do anything different. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, thanks very much, Zainul. Yeah, and I agree with you. It's going to be working towards the 500 members. And I always see Marco smile when we say that number. So thanks for that. And thirdly, but not last, Art, would you like to also give some comments? How does the MDBC compare to other business organizations? Because you've worked at many different embassies around the world with many different business associations. So I think it's great to hear from you, how we compare a little bit.
Remco, thank you. First of all, I would like to join Tan Sri and Zainul in congratulating the MDBC with their 25th year of existence and still growing. It's really fantastic. Yeah, and as you mentioned, I have maybe 4 or 5 countries now to compare with: Spain, Suriname, China, and Japan. And I must say that we are here in a quite unique situation that we have a professional business council. Usually, business community abroad is organized in a somewhat loose way, but most of the time it is more of a social contact group. And it is not really a professionally manned organization that is proving of added value to its membership. So that's really quite unique what we have here. It's for an embassy fantastic to have the business community organized, identifiable, approachable. And for us, the relationship with the MDBC has been very symbiotic, I think very positive for both of us. We work very closely together and with great pleasure. I think that the 500 mark is still way off and not really realistic, but 300 is in sight. So I would think 300 is really possible, that will be a good thing to aim for. And I would like to join Zainul in my praise for the MDBC. You know, when it really matters, you have to step up to the plate and hit the home run. And I think that is what the MDBC did during the crisis last year, March, and the month following. When the companies really need you, you have to be there to provide the information, to give a helping hand, and to tell them every day what is new. And there was a lot of news every day. I think the MDBC did a fantastic job and proved it added value during that crisis. So all in all, it's very positive. We have a very professional organization here, and it's a joy to work with.
Thanks very much, Art, for those very nice words from you. Yeah, we were talking about 300 or 500, you know, whatever, whichever. I think it's always good to aim high and aim for the sky. But of course, there's always areas where we can improve. Do you have any tips? Same goes for Zainul and for Tan Sri, about the MDBC, how to grow further and how to provide more value to our members than we are currently providing?
Well, I would like to say with confidence that the international business councils here, you know, whether it's Netherlands or European, you've all been very active during my 22 years. There's so much interaction. In fact, we had a private-public sector partnership going on, if you recall. Yeah, I'm not sure that it's there now, but we formalized that private-public sector partnership through various dialogues and so on, where you input into government policies and even the governance of by the government of the business sector. Now, to me, let's not just benchmark success by the numbers of people you have in the membership. To me, it's more important, one, their contribution, and secondly, what they get out of the council. And I would like to go back to my point, is that while we are very happy with what has happened in the last 25 years, I think the next 25 years is going to be a lot more difficult, yeah, to get success, because we are starting from a base where there are problems. Because the pandemic has created, as you know, opportunities, of course, but certain problems that have caused some businesses who had been going on for 25 years to close down, for example. So I would like to suggest that we take this 25 years anniversary as a time for us to look at what new programs we must have. It's good to be having information sharing, but new programs like outreach programs, you know, actual programs that allow members, especially the newer ones and even the older ones, to understand digital platforms, how they can revamp their various areas of the value chain, and of course, how they can actually do networking within this era of post-pandemic. Because to me, the old way of doing things, I know Zainul said, just now don't change things. We have to change, Zainul, otherwise you get left behind. I mean, we have now to advise our members about appropriate and relevant digital platforms and technology to be used. It's fine to say use IT, but not everybody can apply the same IT, right? Because you're in different businesses. But there are cross-cutting elements that everybody can share. And I think the council would do good if you can bring key people from your membership for experience sharing, because there are a lot of experiences now that has come out because of the pandemic environment. Why not share and share alike? How did you manage? How did I manage? You know, so that this is something that adds value to the bigger membership. To me, when you start from that premise, then individual companies can then formalize. I know there's going to be a panel talking about reimagining, right? I don't like the word imagine. You know, you can always imagine everything. You have to actually operationalize what you imagine. That's the most difficult part. So we have to revamp and transform. And transform is not just bits and pieces. Sometimes you have to transform the whole value chain itself. Your business model will have to be transformed. Perhaps if MDBC can do this, you know, get experts to come in, give talks on a regular basis, on key issues that will enable people to fit into this post-pandemic environment going on to the next 10 years, you'll be doing wonders, because most companies, I'm sure, are facing same problems, of not being able to benefit and optimize the new developments in IT in their business.
Yeah, thank you very much. I totally agree. The pandemic has created new challenges, but also created a lot of new opportunities, yes, including for the MDBC. One example is that Marco and his team are providing services now to provide web conferencing webinars for example, the embassy, but also for companies. Yeah, those are just opportunities that we didn't have a year ago. We didn't even think about those opportunities a year ago. So I agree. A lot of digital platforms, we're looking at that as well this year. Having a the Connect Fair in an interactive way, to do networking in an interactive way. So those are all the things that we are looking at providing by Marco and the team. Art, do you see any opportunities for areas to improve?
Well, I would like to join Tan Sri in what she mentioned. I think the MDBC is already well on the way in opening up the more possibilities for companies to digitally use the possibilities that we have. As you just mentioned, we have had already a couple of human rights events that were virtually taking place. And we use the possibilities technically that Marco has to set it up. And sometimes I think we had one physical event planned on one day, and we had 24 hours or maybe 30 hours to change it over to virtual. And the MDBC is capable of providing that service. I think that is useful. It will take some investment, I guess, to really have your equipment at the MDBC upgraded, so that, for instance, you can have, for instance, partially a live audience as well as a digital audience, and then combine that at the same time, camera equipment, etc. It may be very attractive for companies, particularly the small and medium-sized companies that are members, to use the facilities that an MDBC can build and the expertise that it can build. And it's already doing that, but I think there's still more possibilities and some way to go. I'm of a generation that it is, for me, somewhat difficult to point out all the possibilities that there are. But I'm surprised by what the MDBC can already do right now. But there must be more. And I think investing in that area is good for the membership, is good for the MDBC.
Yeah, thank you very much, Arjad. It's also one of the things that we're looking at, sort of virtual networking platforms that are better than Zoom. You saw already before, it's quite difficult to do proper networking via Zoom, and sometimes people want to go into groups, for example, to have conversations. So we are looking at doing a lot more this year with that. I think, Marco, we're almost out of time for this segment, right, Marco?
May I just interject a little bit?
Yes, sure.
Let us not just dwell on these virtual meetings, because pretty soon, we will be back into the physical environment.
Yes.
So this will be something to complement physical meetings, right? What I was talking about, this sharing of experience, it's not a virtual network. It's for the years ahead when you have small technical groups explaining a digital platform and so on and so forth. Making factory visits, amongst members who are interested to see what Shell has done in protection of the environment, in whatever they have installed, or some packaging industry. Physical visits amongst members to learn how people benefit from IT and all the applications. So let's not just dwell on, this virtual thing and set up all these fancy gadgets. And you find that, hey, you can actually meet in person, given another 6 months. So
Yeah,
let's
hope we can do that soon again. Indeed, I miss having beers with everybody, and it will be great to be able to do that again. And I think everybody here yearns for that.
The COVID won't be here forever.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I also am on Bali now. I don't want to be here forever either.
But it's fantastic to see the generation that was part of our 1996 launch all online. Yeah, despite age factors, etc. Yeah. Theo Arnold, Ambassador, if you can please unmute yourself. You were part of the launch event in 1997 with Tansri Rafida. What can you share from that time? Do you have any anecdotes about each other?
Oh, some gossip, that would be good.
Theo, please unmute yourself.
Oh, you're on mute.
You can't hear. Is he unmuted? There you are.
Oh, one more time.
One more time, Theo.
Mute.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Well, let me start to congratulate the MDBC on this auspicious occasion of the 25 years. It's really fantastic. And the MDBC is really also the envy of many other councils, certainly in Manila. Well, it was very good to hear how you look at the future and how enthusiastic you are all doing that. But let me go back even 28 years, because in 1993, before I left for KL, I was briefed by the Asia Department at Foreign Affairs in The Hague. And they told me two particular challenges, actually. One was to start with a fellow foundation, and second, to start with a business council. And they put it in such a way that it was really a challenge for me. So I started talking to the various business people at that time. But it's not easy. You get the moral support, but the actual support in terms of getting into the board and really starting the business is very, very difficult. And it took me 3 years to find a group of people who were ready to take the responsibility to become a member and to be in the board. I will mention a few names. Lud Kniphorst of ABN AMRO, Klaas Engelse of Rabobank. We had Remco Monfils and Kopos of Philips, Tom Soeren of Macro, Henry ten Have, and Adrian Weit. I don't know, was Weit from Dutch Lady Milk?
Yes, he was.
He was, huh? Yeah. He was also very, very active at the start. And of course, Minister Rafida Aziz. If you have listened to her a few moments ago, you know how convincing she can be with making her points, and also in support of my efforts to get the council started. So that was really fantastic. But also Dato Kok Wikwiat, who was the chairman of Macro in those days. So there was a number of people who really were willing to give it a start. And well, so it happened. And I'm very proud every time when I hear about the MDBC. Well, they really did a good job. I would like to congratulate Marco also, because I think it's very important to have one person who is doing an active pursuing everything.
Thank you so much, Theo, for remembering the names, and several are indeed online. Maybe also very nice to mention that your power couple in 1996-97, your colleague at the embassy, Karen, together with her husband, Jur, who was the first ED of MDBC, are both joining as well in this session. So fantastic that we can bring back the old group. At this moment in time, Remco and I would also like to bring in the other ambassadors who are with us today here live. Konrad van Toren, you were the successor of Theo. Are you online, Konrad? You were earlier. Let's see what happened here. Konrad, I can see you. Can you unmute yourself, please? Yeah, there we go. Konrad, good afternoon.
There we are.
Good morning in the Netherlands.
Good morning, Marco. But first, congratulations, Malaysian Dutch Business Council.
Thank you so much. I remember you and me walking on the golf course in the mines, supporting the Dutch team during the World Cup and watching a bit of Tiger Woods at that time. What else can you remember?
Those were great times. Also for our own golf, yes. The Royal Selangor was nice. But I have more things to say. For me, MDBC, Marco, was a foothold in the Dutch business community in Malaysia, as well as in the Malaysian business society. It was a privilege to cooperate closely with Datuk Abdullah Ali, then chairman of MDBC. He was of great help, showing the way or solving problems, relying on his great network. The embassy and MDBC joined forces in many fields, both economically and culturally. You always in the middle of activities. A highlight in the cultural and promotional field was the joint organization of Holland Village, a replica of 14 typical Dutch houses and of course a windmill, in which many typical handcrafts were demonstrated and Dutch specialities were offered and of course on sale. MDBC had a jump start. Now we are celebrating what came out of it, a flowering organization. Challenges may be ahead, but I am convinced that MDBC will succeed in overcoming them and will continue its successful course. And I wish all involved great success. Thank you.
Fantastic, Konrad. Thank you so much. And please stay safe and warm in the Netherlands. All right, Remco, back to you. You've also, in your long time with MDBC, has had a lot of contact with some of the ambassadors that are online right now. Lodi, Hari, Karin, so please go ahead.
Yes, just wanted to say, I think the first ambassador that I had contact with in Malaysia was His Excellency Lodi Embrechts. He's on the call. I think Lodi, you've been in many different countries since. I think Korea. Now you're in the United Arab Emirates. But of course, you became ambassador in Malaysia. You just came out of the corporate world. And yeah, it would just be interesting to hear when you took up your first ambassador posting, how did you see the business climate in Malaysia at that time? And what was your experience overall?
Thank you, first of all, for allowing me to be part of this event. Selamat petang. I didn't forget. It's so great to see so many familiar faces. I see Jack, my friend Jack Ang is online. I see Hans. I saw Hans Bodewis online as well. You, of course. So it's great to be back, as I just said, in KL, albeit online this time. I also. You know, Tansri is still there. Tansri Rafida Aziz. Yes, she's still there. Tansri, you are as sharp as I met you for the first time in 2005. Unbelievable. Congratulations on that one.
Oh,
congratulations on that one. Yeah, how did I see the MDBC, right? MDBC for me was a partner of the embassy, and I believe they were a really very, very important player in the bilateral business relation in the Netherlands and Malaysia. And some of the things I really respected the MDBC for was welcoming newcomers, introducing them to the market, connecting them with other Dutch companies. And I remember in particularly Marco organizing the member for members events, where you could learn from each other, share experiences, etc., etc. Really, really useful. And for me, it was also useful that things work the other way around, because of the contacts, because of the network of the MDBC, we got a lot of feedback. What's happening in Malaysia? Where can we do better? Where should we focus on? What should we do vis-a-vis the Malaysian government, etc., etc. So it worked both ways for me, and it worked actually very, very well. But one thing I particularly admired Marco for, MDBC for, I should say, that I believe Marco started this, it is the internship model. I don't know if it's still there. I don't know if it's still up and running. But by doing so, you connect young people from the Netherlands to Malaysia. And with that, you create friends for life. You really invest in the future. You invest in a bilateral relation. You invest in contacts. And that is something that I always found really, really very strong point of the Business Council. We did a couple of things together, a number of things together, actually. One of the things that came to my mind was our visit to Jakarta. We visited Jakarta, we hooked up with the Business Council over there, and it was not for fun, it was also business related, like what can we do together? What can Dutch companies from Malaysia do in Indonesia? And at the same time, we brought companies from Dubai to KL as well at the time, to share information, to connect them with friends and partners in KL. And now I am back in the UAE, so perhaps it's an idea, Marco and other board members, to visit me here in Dubai or in Abu Dhabi. It's an idea, just an idea, nothing more than that. For me, the Business Council relation didn't end in 2009. I just mentioned Jack Ang. I don't know if he's still on the board of the MDBC, but Jack and I worked also together in Korea, where we tried to introduce Markan furniture. We were chasing projects together. So the connections you make, the connections, they cross borders and they follow you wherever you are. So that's also something I believe that the Business Council brought about. For me, Remco, when you talk about the MDBC, there are two people I have to talk about. One is Marco. You cannot talk about the MDBC without talking about Marco. You cannot thank the MDBC without thanking Marco. He has really fully dedicated himself in making this what it is today. And I think we all know that. I think we all appreciate that. And I want to thank Marco for his efforts, for his support, for his friendship, for his partnership with all the ambassadors who are online today as well. Marco, you did a marvelous, marvelous job, honestly. At the same time, I want to mention someone who is no longer with us, Dato Jeff Indot. Maybe some of you remember Jeff. I think he and Marco were extremely instrumental in defining the future, if you like, for the Business Council, where Jeff brought about the local view and Marco was strong on the Dutch view. And I think they were a golden couple in a time when the MDBC was shaping up. So I want to mention these two in particular. But Marco, you're still around and you have done really a marvelous job. I want to congratulate you again. Up to the next 25 years, I would say. Tansri said it will be difficult, but with Marco there, Tansri, I don't think it's going to be overly difficult. I'm sure he'll find a way to push the MDBC in the next 25 years as well.
Well, thank you so much, Lodi. I think my wife is online as well. I'm sure she, somewhere in the next few years, she would like me to come home a bit more often.
I know you deserve it, Marco. I want to congratulate you all again and think about coming to the UAE. We have the Expo coming up, the World Expo next year. You'll be more than happy to receive you here and link you with some parties on this side. Thank you. And all colleagues, good to see you again.
Thank you very much for your kind words, Lodi. Do we still have time, Marco?
We need to make time. And by the way, yesterday I was still in contact with
let's make time, because I think
Dato Jeff Indot's wife and son, but they couldn't join online today. Yeah. All right. And I do want to mention what Lodi mentioned just now, the student internship program, fantastic program. Sjoerd Polderdijk already mentioned something here as well in the chat. Yolanda, our student internship manager, is also, of course, with us online. It's been a fantastic program, which now has a temporary halt. Tan Sri Rafida has also been instrumental in a lot of internships of foreign students coming to Malaysia. So yeah, this has really been time for the youth, for the students to experience Malaysia. All right, Remco, I think we have to move on with Harry.
Yes, Harry, welcome from Cape Town. We just heard you say it's great to see you. You've not changed a bit when I see you on the Zoom video. You were a master in networking, and you initiated or you coined the word for us, Dutch Inn or Hollandse Herberg, which was basically the location, the residence of the Dutch ambassador. You must have felt right at home, since one of the MDBC's mottos is networking, Harry. Maybe you can explain a little bit more about how you experienced Malaysia and working with us.
Harry, please unmute.
Yeah, I can talk now.
Yes.
Well, greetings, of course, and congratulations to the MDBC, and in particular, of course, the chair, Zainul, Remco, and the honorary board member, Art Jacobi, former colleague, of course, and Tan Sri Rafida and the other patrons, and of course, Marco Winter, who's such a trusted partner for an embassy. And yes, networking is very, very important for an embassy and for the MDBC. So there we joined forces. We were a modest outfit, I must say, as an embassy. So we were in dire need sometimes of the MDBC. And I still remember, Marco, and I don't know whether it's still happening, that you were joining us in our staff meetings, so that we knew of each other, what we were doing. I think that shows how strong the bond is. But if I compare the chamber, the business council in Malaysia with other business councils I have experienced through my years, I think they're the most professional outfit I've ever come across. And that says a lot. We had many highlights, and talking about networking, Remco, what stands out for me was the visit of our Prime Minister, the first visit of a Dutch Prime Minister Rutte. And we couldn't have a better Prime Minister because we co-organized a meeting with a selection of MDBC members. And we had a very lively exchange with them. And of course, Prime Minister Mark Rutte is the perfect networker in that respect. And also he made time to convince two big Malaysian companies, one of them is KL Kapong, to invest considerably in the Netherlands. Well, this shows how you work together. Co-organizing a meeting like that, making a careful selection of who's participating. That's sensitive, I know, but for that you were a very trusted partner.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks very much, Harry. Yeah, it's very, very much also a focus of the MDBC, not only, of course, supporting Dutch entrepreneurs and Malaysian companies with Dutch links in Malaysia, but also we always try to support, Malaysian investments going back into Holland. That's also, I think, a very important role that the MDBC plays. Thanks for highlighting that. And now I would like to ask Karin, our former ambassador, now Director Asia and Oceania at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, based out of The Hague now. I would like to ask you, now that you're looking after this whole region, how do you perceive Malaysia? That's something that we would really like to hear from you, and of course also about your experiences with the MDBC, but also with working with the members, networking, etc.
Okay, thank you so much, Remco. And first of all, it's so good to see so many familiar faces again, be it online, but now seeing you, and I realize how much I miss you all. And Remco, you mentioned, yes, now I'm Director Asia. Of course, I promised I would use Malaysia as much as possible as my hub when traveling to the region. And unfortunately, I haven't been able, due to the current circumstance, to do as much traveling as I would have hoped to. And in these times, it's very difficult. But Malaysia always has and will have a special place in my heart. And I'm dealing with many countries in the Asian region now and in the Asia Pacific. But Malaysia is and will remain very special to me. And I always look at Asia through the eyes and through the prism of Malaysia. I learned so much also about the rest of Asia being posted to Malaysia. But let's turn to MDBC, because I would like to congratulate MDBC, of course, with 25 years of good work in supporting everyone in the business community doing business from the Netherlands with Malaysia, but also Malaysian companies doing business in the Netherlands. A lot has been said about the active MDBC, and it is true. I mean, there are many chambers, there are many business councils also in Asia, but I don't think any one of them is as active and as well organized as MDBC. We organized many wonderful events together. So in the 3 years that I was in Malaysia, was thinking of the Sustainability Awards, later turned into the Sustainability and Innovation Awards, because the European Chamber decided to steal our concept. But it was such a success that everyone wanted to take it over. And I hope you will have many of those successful events in the future as well. But those were wonderful. The many networking events, the New Year's receptions we had together. Of course, the trade mission, the first trade mission of Minister Kaag in her capacity as Minister of Trade to Vietnam and to Malaysia. I witnessed the accreditation of the MDBC in the presence of Minister Blok. So there were many events in that period that I was there, and many good memories, which is still very fresh. Every event was organized meticulously. Actually, I had expected Marco to send me a banner of the MDBC now to my home address in the Netherlands to put behind me, because every time the banners had to be put up in exactly the right place. I saw you in the beginning also dealing with my successor Art, and it's so good. It shows your professionalism and also the way you are dealing and organizing everything. Marco, you have been for me indeed the impersonification of the MDBC, because you've been of course Mr. MDBC himself for such a long time. But I also wanted to mention Mrs. MDBC, Patty, always there, always co-organizing everything, and many of these things would not have been possible with your support as well. So thank you so much for being also always behind Marco and always supporting him, and also supporting me actually as first female ambassador in Malaysia. I really valued your support there as well. I said many events, and if I look for words to describe MDBC, I thought of two words: dedication and devotion. But then an oldie came to me as well, which is of course the Dire Straits a song of it's turning all the nighttime into the day, and it's the walk of life. And then I realized, yes, what MDBC does actually is help Dutch companies in every walk of their business life and their entrepreneurial life, but also in their real life, because you also give so much advice just on living and being in Malaysia. So what you do is giving the walk of life support, and that is very important, I think. And I hope you will continue to do that, and that you indeed, as organization, also will be able to help the business community to turn the dark nights into the day. These are dark times of COVID, but I'm sure we will get over it. And many things have been mentioned about the good things that we learned in these COVID times, about online working, about having these sessions. It would not have been possible if maybe we would not have had the COVID experience to have this online webinar as well. So there are good things as well. And I wish you all the luck and all the good efforts in actually the next 25 years. I hope to be able to celebrate with you in 25 years in real life and not online, because there are many good things about online meetings, but in real life meeting is much better. So thank you once again and all the best. Good luck. And in 25 years, 500 members should be possible.
Yeah, exactly. But let's hope we will see you and also all your fellow colleagues in person later this year. I'm an optimist. Let's hope that there's good developments, that we can all travel again and slowly start the physical network part and also traveling, because nothing beats, I think, personal contact. So with that, I think, Marco, let's wrap up a little bit and move to the next session. I would really like to thank you all, Your Excellencies, Tamsri, Rafida, our chairman, for participating, our current ambassador, of course, as well, for participating in these two sessions. And let's move to the next part of the agenda, Marco.
Thank you very much, Remco, for moderating this first part. Ladies and gentlemen, you really made me blush this past 1 hour. We were planning to have this session for half an hour, and yeah, I couldn't stop you. It was so nice to hear a lot of the memories that you shared just now. Will come back in the history video with pictures of those particular events and situations that you memorated. Thank you so much for joining us from the Netherlands, from the Middle East, from South Africa. Fantastic to have you all here online. And who knows, maybe if later this year, September, October, we have our awards gala night, special celebration, maybe you can indeed join us live here. All right, there's a few more people that indeed wanted to say something, but couldn't join us live. 2 other patrons. Yang Hormat Dato Sri Mustafa Mohammed, who was our patron for 10 years while he was Minister of International Trade and Industry. A younger one, Dato Daryl Liking, was Minister for 2 years, but it was a special family relationship since he's from Sabah. They have some video message, as well as the one ambassador who couldn't join us live in the show, Paul Beckers. So, with a big word of appreciation, very honored that all of you joined us today. But we'll close this first part of the total kickoff with the video with the other 3 messages. All right, thank you. Here comes the video.
Hi everyone, dear friends of the Malaysian Dutch business community. It is with much pleasure that I address you during this kickoff to MDBC's 25th anniversary in 2021. 25 years, of course, is a long time, and you have done extremely well in these 25 years. For a period of about 10 years until 2018, it was my honor to be your patron. We can look back on several successful programs and engagements. Over 200 Dutch companies are doing very well in Malaysia. We appreciate all of your significant contribution to the Malaysian economy. I have always enjoyed the hospitable and open atmosphere at MDBC events, such as the New Year reception, and especially the MDBC Innovation and Sustainability Awards. Marco and I and our teams organized some excellent Malaysia trade investment missions to the Netherlands, and it was no surprise to me that MDBC became one of the first Dutch chambers in the world to receive accreditation by NL in business. Keep up the good work and the strong support to assist current potential Dutch investors in Malaysia. I would like to assure all MDBC members that I will be available to personally facilitate any efforts from Dutch companies to promote investments in Malaysia. Congrats to all of you on this special year, and all the best.
Hello, Hutan, Kopi Hosian, and Salam Sejahtera. Congratulations to all our friends at the Malaysian Dutch Business Council on the joyous occasion of your 25th anniversary celebrations today. I had a great time working with all you guys at the MDBC, as well as all the advices and guidance that I received throughout our term. Unfortunately, I was unable to visit the Netherlands during my term, albeit it was arranged for me to visit. But I believe that my successor, as well as all those at MITI, will continue to engage with your country, will continue as well to enhance what Malaysia, what Southeast Asia can do with the Netherlands and the Dutch people. Once again, congratulations, Marco, Kotohwadan, all the team. I wish you the best of luck and to continue being safe, to pray that all will be well for our country, all will be well for the nation and the world. With that, please be safe, congratulations, and God bless.
Good afternoon, dear Marco, Ambassador, beste Aard, dear fellow former ambassadors, dear friends. Thank you for having me, thank you for inviting me. It's a public secret that I left half my heart in Malaysia, beautiful Malaysia. Wonderful memories, excellent memories. One of those memories is about very good cooperation the embassy enjoyed with the MDBC. It was a rather natural, symbiotic relationship serving the corporate sector together. I think we then also prepared an MOU, which then served as an example for others worldwide. And another memory I have is about the Sustainability Awards, which was a good initiative. And talking about awards, I remember, of course, vividly that we were awarded, our team, as best performing embassy by the corporate sector. You know, Marco, I've always regarded that as a acknowledgement of our good cooperation together. So it was an award for all of us. With that, I wish you a huge congratulations with this silver jubilee. Good luck going for gold. I will celebrate with a bottle of champagne and I'll toast to the MDBC later on today. So I wish you all an excellent day. Goodbye.
Fantastic words from Tokpa, from Daryl, and from Paul. I sent a personal message to Paul, please don't open the champagne yet. Wait for my arrival in The Hague one of these days, and then we'll drink it together. It's also been a fantastic time with Paul during those years. All right, to come back to sharing lessons learned throughout this program. Most of our MDBC directors, board of directors are participating in this program today. Here's a message from a few of them as well. Go ahead with the next video, please.
The most important business lesson that I learned in 2020 is to really stay lean and mean, keep operating costs low, and be flexible in your business operations.
Must be adapted, quickly making changes as deemed required.
Never waste a good crisis. Use this opportunity to reimagine your company and to revitalize your purpose and culture. And cash is king.
You have to adjust to the ever-changing situation. Be creative and be flexible.
To be always prepared for the unexpected and be ready for the challenges at any time.
MDBC embraced the challenges of the COVID-19 situation and quickly adapted to remain relevant to its members by organizing webinars, virtual meetings, and networking events such as the Connect Fair.
Teaming up with other companies to lobby for policies that help improve the overall business climate.
Thank you to our fantastic board of directors. All the praises just now would not have been possible without this fantastic board that I've enjoyed over the years for a lot of variety of qualities, experience, big companies, small companies, Dutch companies, Malaysian companies, people of different nationalities. We've always had a fantastic board. There's a lot of variety that has looked into all kinds of matters of event support, membership support, financial support, governance support, etc. All the main topics to make our chamber so successful over the years. We could not have done it with the support and the guidance of our board of directors. Now, this video gives us the bridge to part 2 of the program, the panel on resilience and reimagining with another 3 directors of the board. First, I would like to bring in Wouter van der Weijden, the managing partner of Samhout. Wouter, you will moderate the session. Together, let's watch for a few more inputs from our members who have all worked very hard this past year to keep their business going and who are willing to share their experiences. Brief, powerful messages to fellow entrepreneurs.
To survive, organizations need to be truly agile. Digitalization is critical in helping organizations to adapt at the necessary speed and is now the primary driver of resilience.
Keep informed and try to be ahead of the curve.
The environment is changing every day, so we should be flexible.
Advanced planning and day-to-day follow-up on changed environment.
Learning to be efficient with ability to manage the operations P&L under limited resources and continuous business challenges.
Have faith, stay patient and resilient, and although you're not selling at the moment, stay in touch with your customers.
Long-term strategic and risk management are crucial to weather any crisis.
Supply chains turned out to be more resilient than expected.
We can still do many things e-way, but we still need social gathering because we are humans and we need that connection.
Be prepared to accept the unexpected and be ready to make life changes.
Keep calm, keep on going, and never stop networking.
All right, hope you enjoyed that sharing of our members. Great, guys. Many of you are online right now. I see you smiling when you are on the video as well. Thank you so much for joining, and see yourself back for a few seconds as well. All right, Wouter, that should give you a good start to your session, together with Tarang Gupta, the Managing Director of Dutch Lady Milk Industries Behoud, and Lian Vergeer, the Head of Marketing, ASEAN Pacific of Philips. And of course, you would also like to engage the audience. Wouter, please go ahead.
All right, thank you, Marco. Thank you also, Tarang and Lian, for joining us in today's panel discussion. Good afternoon to all the online participants, if it's on Zoom or if it's on YouTube. Welcome to all of you again. The theme for the panel discussion is Never Waste a Good Crisis, Resilience and Reimagining the Next Normal Amidst this pandemic. Before we start engaging with our panelists, we would like to ask for your input as well. And we would like you to go to Mentimeter, and I think Adeline will help us with that. And we would like you to give an answer to the question, what kind of business opportunities or what opportunities do you see amidst this pandemic? And we'll give you some time to give an answer to that question. We'll leave that line open for you. So what exciting business opportunities do you see amidst the pandemic? And if you go to menti.com, www.menti.com, and use the code 1902358, actually, you will see this question popping up. What exciting business opportunities do you see amidst the pandemic? Yeah, so go to menti.com and use that code. Yeah, you use your phone for that. All right, we'll leave this, this open for a while. Yeah, so and meanwhile, actually, we will proceed and we will come back to this later, okay? So I hope you can all give your input here. And meanwhile, we will go to our participants, and good afternoon to you once more. Before we start taking a deeper dive into the two major themes, resilience and reimagining that next normal, we would like to do a quick personal check-in with Tarang and Liam as well. So maybe you can share a bit of your personal journey amidst this pandemic, right? So how have you navigated through this pandemic? What have been your biggest kind of lows, your greatest highs, your biggest shocks, and maybe also some surprises? Maybe I can start with Liam.
Yes, thanks, Wouter, and hello, everybody. Indeed, congratulations, MDBC, on your anniversary, 25 years. Very happy to be part of the panel, so thanks for having me. When we look at the personal highlight and lowlights, maybe I need to go one step back. I moved to Kuala Lumpur in 2019 only, so I was 6 months in Kuala Lumpur when the crisis and the pandemic started. And of course, that was for me quite a lot, because we had, I think my biggest low, of course, many recognize that, is not the opportunity to have to travel. And when you're new in a role, in a regional role, of course, the connection with people in your team is very critical. So I think that was a bit of a setback, just being in the role for 6 months. I moved, however, from the Middle East, where I was the leading Middle East and Turkey team in marketing. And I learned there to be adaptive and to really try to make sure that you always have a plan B or a plan C, because it's also a very volatile market. So that skill I was able to also bring with me to APAC. And quickly I was able to also then personally change that low into a high and trying to really engage with the teams in a virtual setting. Another, I think everybody will recognize that low is, of course, you being away from your family when you are in a different country. And I think that is also another element which we have to work around and really use the virtual tools we have and other means to connect with one another. I think when I look back at the highlights so far, and I think you might recognize it as well, the opportunity of this pandemic is also that life is simpler. We have more time for our families here, and we also have more time for yourself to work out and to exercise. So every low and every high is combined actually. I think in the end, it also allows us to be more balanced, and also to have, to look upon more flexible opportunities to create that connection. So I think that would be my personal check-in, and so far so good.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Liam, for sharing, and thanks for being so optimistic and about this, about going through this pandemic, also from a personal level, right? So let's go to Tarang, your personal journey, actually, some of the highlights or maybe even lowlights, right, along this journey.
Good evening and good morning. Good morning to the ones who are dialing in from Europe. Well, these are unprecedented times, but let me just take a step back before even taking over this. So I was in Singapore till about 2014, and before that Malaysia, and then moved to Nigeria. And I moved from a global role to a country role in Nigeria. Nigeria, where we say that no 2 days are the same. That's when I first learned what was a true meaning of volatility. Of course, it wasn't global pandemic type volatility, but volatility almost every day. And that taught me something very important there. And that was called as ROI from a different perspective. And we all know, we are all business leaders. We understand ROI is return of investment. I learned from my own self, ROI is return on impact. What is a return that you get as a leader for the impact you create? And a lot of times we don't think about it on a daily basis because, we are very busy between our meetings and looking at the P&Ls and looking at strategies and driving the business. What it taught me, and I've saw multiple crises or situations, whether from floods to riots to stuff in Nigeria, that it told me that as leaders, we have to create an impact, and that's a genuine impact. So when this, and it was a moving ball when the crisis hit, and it was a moving ball moving slowly, but in about 4 weeks, we understood that this is here to stay. Now, whether 6 months or 4 months, but it's here to stay. It's long enough that we as leaders need to step up. And my personal high and low, and I'm not going to go into details, we're all linked with my own self. Am I doing enough for my organization? An organization is made up of people. Am I doing enough? And when we say keep doing enough, am I keeping them safe? And safe is not just the physical safety, but the psychological safety of the organization. And the same thing was coming in for myself, for my family. I have a 12-year-old daughter, then my wife. Am I keeping them psychologically safe? And am I keeping my organization's psychological sanity? And my journey of lows and highs went through it. What I can say today is there's some things that went well, some things did really well, some things could have been done better, but I'm a better individual, a better professional, and I always measure myself on just one thing. What is the impact that I have created, whether an individual, whether an organization? And that's a return that gives me the joy. The good thing is today that in your words, Walter, Mentimeter, if I may say, it's on the positive side of the y-axis. So I feel good, but still a journey that we are learning every day.
All right. Okay. Thanks for sharing, Tarang. Let's move to the topic of resilience. Right. Resilience has certainly become one of the buzzwords lately. The need for resilience amidst the pandemic, as mentioned, is mentioned actually repeatedly in all kinds of media. But if you look at resilience, all right, what does it actually mean? What does it mean to us? And I think maybe we can share as well. Adeline, you can share that slide. I think there's a nice definition made by the Harvard Business Review editor, actually, who's articulating not only resilience is about bouncing back, right? A lot of people talk about bouncing back. Resilience is about bouncing back, but it's more than that, right? It's not only bouncing back, it's also bouncing back and coming back stronger, actually. Resilience is about moving forward, more energized, more elevated, and more equipped for also what's next, right? So, what I would like to know from Lian and also from Tarang is how resilient has your organization been amidst the pandemic? How has your organization bounced back stronger? And to what extent has your organization also lived up to its purpose, right? Because especially amidst the pandemic, you have to basically fall back to your purpose again. So thinking about the question, why do we exist as an organization and how can we be of added value amidst this pandemic? And maybe starting with Lian first. So how resilient has Philips been and how have you lived up to your purpose?
Yeah, it's nice you mentioned purpose. And I think the purpose of Philips has always been quite relevant, but I think in the times of the pandemic, it was even more relevant and also very motivating for myself personally, but also for the teams. And the purpose Philips has put out is that we want to improve the lives of people across the world by becoming more healthy and more sustainable. And we have put even a target of 3 billion people a year per 2030, which is really a very motivating purpose to have. But I think it's at the start of the pandemic and also later, this became very, very, very motivational because our business consists of two parts. We have a consumer part, we really try to focus on keeping people healthy and preventing them to becoming sick. And a more business to business part, where we really drive diagnostic, treatment and home care in the healthcare setting. And what was quite striking and quite shocking for everybody, of course, that two things happened at the same time. Our consumer business, as part of the pandemic, almost stopped completely because, of course, retail shut down and we had to quickly be resilient to address that. And at the same time, on our healthcare part, we had a very high demand for specific value propositions in Philips, like ventilators and monitors to help COVID patients in hospitals. So we had a high demand on the one end, and we had a very challenging business in the consumer space on the other hand. And we also saw in that consumer space a very different need came up. People were looking because they were working from home and living more in their home situation to help them cook more healthy meals, to help them to do their personal hygiene. And even we had a big insight we learned quickly by listening to social media comments. People were looking to how to do their hair at home because all the hairdressers were closed. So by very resilient, yes. Were we fast enough? Maybe not yet in our consumer, because it took us a little while to understand that change of needs in the consumer space and adapt our messaging and our channels to offer that to our consumers. I think where I'm quite proud of is the resilience we were able to show and demonstrate it, and you might have seen it even in the news, on our healthcare part, where the demand was so high that we very quickly were able to decide to really ramp up our production in the USA for ventilators. And that's quite a complicated product to make. And I know Marco and more of the people in the audience are aware of that. A ventilator consists of 600 different parts to combine together, which makes a ventilator. And one of 4 of those parts are actually also manufactured here in Malaysia. So the whole supply chain, the whole organization to ramp up a business so quickly was a very big task. But I'm very proud that we collectively as an organization were able to quickly come to that new way of doing that in a very different way. Normally it would have cost us for sure more than a year. And in 6 weeks' time, we had it up and running, the new production. I think that is an element of resilience, but that can only happen when there is trust in the organization. When you trust each other and you have such a strong relationship across the whole value chain internally, that you can then collaboratively work together. So I'm quite proud, and going back to the purpose question, Wouter, I think with that initiative, we have been able to absolutely all together, almost very directly, were able to improve people's lives. There were more challenges later. After this big ramp up, there was also some issues we then received that the US government canceled one of their big deals they had with us. But we are still very fortunate that we were able to do that internally, as well as with all the partners, and even also with the help of MDBC and the embassy here in Malaysia to help drive that step up.
Fantastic to hear, Lian, that Philips has really truly lived up to its purpose. Yeah. And meanwhile, also still maintaining that profitability, right? I think you've even increased your profitability. It's good to hear, right? Living up to your purpose and at the same time also sustaining the business. Very good. Let's go to Tarang, because Dutch Lady also has done a fantastic job, I think, during the pandemic. But I'd like to hear your view, Tarang, on that.
I'd like to start from where Lian left, right? It starts with trust. And people don't trust organizations. People trust the why behind the organization. And I'm very, very proud to say that Fresnel Campina, which is the parent company, but also us as Dutch Lady, we have a very strong, deep-rooted purpose. Every employee in the organization has his own personal purpose statement and is connected to it. Now, that was great. And I'll speak also for myself as an employee of the organization. The purpose was in my heart. When the pandemic struck and we were part of the essentials, and if I would just go back to the first 4 weeks, there were a lot of volatility, uncertainty, risk, fears, lack of knowledge. Can this pandemic kill someone? How far there was so much of uncertainty. And in that, we had to hold our purpose. Personally, in that 4 weeks, and then after that for the next 8 months, every employee that I speak to, they come back and say, boss, I have to do this because we need to keep the Malaysians nourished. The role of that white liquid that goes in there, and why? And they have come back sharing pictures. This person has lost his job, but he's got a baby. How can I support them? My employees have gone out. Besides working middle of the night, can you imagine there's a roadblock, 11 o'clock, somebody gets up in the morning, 11 o'clock at night, drives through the roadblock with his meaty and the company letter to come to the factory to produce. The salesperson is traveling across and then comes back and says, I need to do these donations, but I need to make this available. What we all say, right? Organizations are resilience. What is organization? Organization is made of people. It's the people who are there. And I learned that we can do anything. We can do, to your point about the profit, we can drive perseverance, we can start giving promotions, everything. Everything falls hollow if the why behind the what isn't strong enough. And I'm lucky. We also as a business had challenges. Our food service businesses has almost crashed for quite some time. That does affect there. But one thing that you say that every issue has an opportunity, the purpose of the why behind the organization has gone from a heart to the gut. And I think that becomes the springboard for this organization to continue, keep growing, live the purpose. And that purpose will help us to drive the performance, to drive the profit. And that journey will continue. So I believe that we've been operating, not a single day did we stop the line, not a single outlet went out of stock. So we call it as a very simple primary process. We stood resilient, and that I must thank each and every individual of this company.
All right. Thank you so much, Tarang, for sharing. And good to hear that your organization is also so purpose-driven and even translated that purpose into personal purpose statements. Fantastic to hear. I would like to jump, also considering the time, being mindful of the time, jump to reimagining that next normal. Winston Churchill once said, never waste a good crisis. And we actually see a few, and we would like to share a few other interesting insights. You know, and maybe Adeline, you can share that slide. When written in Chinese, the word crisis actually is composed of two characters, and maybe for the ones who speak Chinese would know that, right? Actually, the first character represents danger, and the second character actually represents opportunity. So in every crisis, there's also an opportunity. If you look at what Einstein once said, he said, in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. That's on the next slide. So Einstein once said, in the middle of every difficulty, there's opportunity. And I think also on the next slide, you will see that history has shown that major disruptions actually can cause fundamental shifts in attitudes and behaviors. World War II has led actually to more women working. 9/11 has caused that whole security business to flourish, if you will. And what is next for after this COVID, right? So what is next? And so therefore, in every crisis, we have to look at what is next. How can we reimagine ourselves, and how can we revamp our business model as well to accommodate the new situation? Now let's look at the outcomes from the poll that we did, or the word cloud actually that we pulled up. What business opportunities have you seen actually amidst this pandemic, or do you see amidst the pandemic? So let's look at that word cloud. We see innovation. We see a big one also on digital healthcare, homeschooling, digitalization. So some people are talking about out of the office forever, or school out of school forever, right? So we see a lot of different things, different opportunities out there as well that we can bank onto, and a lot about digital, a lot about sustainability. So we see that digital word popping up a lot, right? But I would like to hear, and that's also my last question for the panelists, what business opportunities would you see amidst or after this or during this pandemic, right? So what are some of the most exciting opportunities that have emerged to you as a result of this pandemic? So not necessarily relating to your own business, but in general. So maybe, why don't we start with Tarang now?
Right. So I think in terms of, there are two parts to a business opportunity. One part of it is that what do we see it now? And the second part of it is what would it do? So if you go back to the 100 years back, that actually triggered a lot of the industrial revolution. And there was a big important role of industrial revolution that played. And then how the linearity of the industrial revolution took through. If I take the current situation, obviously what you see also on the word there, digitalization is a very, very important business opportunity. Now, digitalization can be seen as an end, or it can be seen as a means. Now, for those who are part of the ecosystem, they would say it as an end. Those who are part of the value chain will see it as a means. But I want to take one step behind, and I think probably there more than the actual tangible opportunities. I want to take something more deeper. It is creating an opportunity of agility among people and organizations. What this has taught is that, and that was said in the initial video, be flexible, be adaptive. Today we make plans, and I was taught when I started my career, 5 years plan, 7 years plan, and then we say, what's your roadmap? I was even asked in an interview once that, okay, what do you want to do 10 years down the line? I think the world is changing. With the volatility, it's too about driving agility within the organization. What that agility will do is it will create multiple opportunities around that smaller or bigger ecosystem. I see opportunities from a point of view, my small retailers have become e-commerce. They have been agile. But there's those who have not become, they are actually dwindling in terms of their business to a bigger level scale of agility, leading to how some of the business models are changing within trade, within digitalization, within healthcare. So I want to, probably my view would be to reflect back on it and say that, are we making our organizations agile enough? And And the fundamentals of agility, which is whether you talk Kanban or Scrum, those fundamentals will become more and more opportunity, will create more opportunities for us as businesses than only to take the opportunities that are available. That's my view, rather than nomenclating what opportunities could create as a business only.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Tarang. For you, Lian?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think digital healthcare was being mentioned on the board. It, of course, is close to my business. And I do think why I'm so excited about that acceleration you now see happening, because it does really improve the patient's outcome of healthcare, where you in the past would have all different, even sometimes paperwork of all your patient data. Having that all combined now in some of the markets we are in is really a big benefit for both the patients as well as the doctors to diagnose patients better and therefore have better outcome. So I think it's amazing what we have seen last year of that tension, of that traction, as well as offering healthcare for people which normally wouldn't have access to healthcare because of remote monitoring and telehealth solutions. And that's very relevant for here in APAC. We're very much working towards that direction where you actually don't need to go to the hospital, but actually you can still be in contact with that. So I think that are new business models we see now going quicker. But I'd like to close maybe with a few comments also around how we work together and to Tarang's point of being more agile. I think I could have not imagined that we in Philips would have said as of today that we say you're flexible to work 2 days a week in the normal situation from any location where you wish to, and we like you to be in the office minimum 3 days to stimulate the collaborative work, but the rest you can do on different locations. I would have not imagined that we would have Oxygen Fridays where we say we will not have any video meetings internally, but you have space to think and do strategic working to make sure that we remain relevant in this very changing environment. I would have not imagined that we would say we don't travel for board meetings anymore. We all do it virtually and actually really contribute also to our sustainability purpose. So I think a lot of things in the way how we work have been changed and will be changed for the better. But of course, I recognize and agree with anybody here in the meeting, the human connection and the collaboration which is needed to come to innovative solutions towards the ever-changing needs of our customers and consumers remains very important. So I think that were just a few things. And to close off, communication in these types of crises is super important. So communicate, 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 and be close with your people. That is, I think, as a leader, a very important lesson I learned again, and keep doing that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. And I think, Marco, I'm looking at you and I can see actually that you're urging me to finalize this discussion, right? So I would like to thank Tarang and Lian for sharing their valuable insights with us. And maybe as a closure, I would also, the call out is actually also, let's be very mindful about the people out there, right? Because not all people are as blessed as we are, I think. But let's be mindful about the people, especially going to a second or a third wave. It requires really psychological stamina as well of the people out there, right? To go through a second or a third wave. So let's be mindful, but let's also crisis and take advantages of the opportunities that have emerged. And now over to you, Marco.
Fantastic, Wouter. I wish we could do this for a couple of hours. I'm very sure that the audience has sincerely appreciated the valuable input of yourself, of Lian and Tarang. Thank you so much for contributing to this session. My apologies that we put too much in this whole program today and that we have to cut it a few minutes short. I'm sure that during the year we can consider coming up with another session with more audience participation as well. Lian, you mentioned communication. Yes, at this moment we would like to give a special acknowledgement to MDBC Communications Manager Jocelyn, also in our group, who has worked tirelessly with us and the rest of the team to at times come up with daily MCO lockdown emails to the members, which have been provided to be extremely valuable to all of you to keep your business going. Thank you, Jocelyn. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the third and final segment of our program, the kickoff time. To get in the mood, 25 years, we have invited a few of our fellow member companies who are also celebrating 25th anniversary. Present here today are John Preston of Intermovers, Amna Shari of Beyond Corporate House, and Dato Prabha of Basis Bay. All well-known, active and supportive members in our community. We have invited them to share with you in just a minute each what their take is on being in business for 25 years and now seeing all the changes happening around us. What is their plan on marking their silver jubilee milestone on their side? And maybe as MDBC, we can also pick up a few tips. Ladies first, Amna, you're in the program. What are your plans with your team and your clients this year to mark your 25 years?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Marco. Yes, 25 years is a big milestone. And thank you, MDBC. And we started with 5 people. Now we have 25 people. We went through 3 meeting ministers. And as you know, many recessions in a way. And this year, somehow, we will expand further our Labuan company. We started last year during MCO. And from we got 40 companies setting up at Trust Labuan. That's amazing for Malaysia. And then we also, introduced new services. As you know, because of the COVID, we have to be agile. We have to be digitized in many, many things. And this is a challenge that we all have to take. But amazing staff, I must congratulate them. And I'm glad the partnership between the private sector and the government sector continue, because this is important, because we also represent many, many Dutch companies as well, European companies as well. My 1 minute vision for 2021 is, yes, we got to be resilient, introduce more services, and we're expanding like our Labuan company, and even services in even immigration, which is at the moment impacted in a big way, company sector and advisory and the licenses as well. So glad that we got MDBC, glad that the government also listening, which is very important. And I think my 1 minute has gone past. But anyway, thank you very much for everybody's support, which is amazing. Yes, it's a tough year, but God bless. We will move on strength by being efficient and also be positive about the 2021. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Amna, and looking forward to share this together this year. All right, John, Intermovers, your industry has seen a lot of change this year, but that has also given you new ideas, right? Go ahead and share with us.
Well, certainly, 25 years is a very special year to James, the CEO of Intermovers, and myself. I mean, he started Intermovers in 1996. I started in the moving industry in Australia in 1996. So it's both 25 years experience in it. We both had our first child in 1996, and they're 25 years old. James also got married in 1996, so it's a big year. At Intermovers, we're going to be celebrating, obviously, with a special Silver Jubilee gala dinner, and also spending some time there giving some long service awards. We'll also be participating in a team event, doing a fun run or a fun walk, 5 or 10 kilometers later in this year. Hopefully we'll be able to do it live, but it might be a leaf out of your book and we'll have to do it virtually. But during the lockdown, you're right, the moving industry is restricted in the services it can be providing. We can't go into condos at the moment. We're hoping that might change next week. But what we're doing is we're looking and reflecting on the successes that we've had in the last 25 years. And although we enjoy a client customer satisfaction rate of 98.7%, we've never really measured our corporate satisfaction rate, or we've never measured our employee satisfaction rate. So we're going to be spending the next month really focusing on that, developing questionnaires, and then using that information to start setting our plans for the next 2 to 5 years, and also sharing those their feedback to our staff. So an exciting time. We'll be redeveloping our website, an interactive website. So it's all busy here, really thinking about what we can do to get through this pandemic and come out bouncing even higher.
Excellent. Good time to pick all of that up, John. And also congratulations on your 25th personal anniversary. And and your child's age. All right, thank you. Okay, over to Dato Prabha from Basis Bay. You are turning this opportunity into the concept of Basis Bay 2.0. Please share this with your audience, with our audience, and you have a couple of slides, so just let us know when you would like the slides on, Prabha. Go ahead.
Sure. Thanks, Marco. First and foremost, I'm going to show you this. Can you guys see me? I hope you can.
No, it disappears in the virtual background.
Okay. Do you see this? You get it? Not at all. So this is the MDBC award you gave us on your 15th anniversary, Marco.
We never gave you anything. You won it.
Yeah, we won it. We won it nice and fair. First and foremost, Marco, congratulations. So as everyone says, you are typically and very much Mr. MDBC to everyone here. If I may, I was hoping Art would be on the call. I'm not sure if he still is. I haven't seen him since he came up, since we met for dinner last. Paul Beckers, Karen, wonderful ambassadors that have been very supportive in our growth plans in our journey, our 25-year journey. Very quickly, in the interest of time, could you put up the slides, Paul? Okay, so basically, Base Bay has moved on, right? From what was maybe 5 to 10 people, we are now, if you look at the slides we are in, that's my timer, right? So I've got about 30 seconds left, or about a minute. So what we have now is we've extended from where we were in Malaysia, and of course, thanks to the support of MDBC and the others, we've actually had our presence in Amsterdam from late 2010, thereabouts, and have had a journey. So our next journey, of course, is to get us into the rest of the world. So it's been a nice journey, an expensive one, and we are today across 22 countries in 50 locations. Yeah. So next slide, and the red dots actually mark our direct presence, and the black ones are indirect. So what do we have planned for Base Bay 2.0? You might find this interesting. New data centers, because we are in the right space. So as many have mentioned, never waste a good crisis. We had planned for Base Bay 2.0. Coincidentally, the world is pushing us in a direction as well, and things are moving the way, I guess, just more aggressively than we had anticipated. So the new data center build, so at 2.0 for Basis Bay, the two different businesses that we have built towards, we own and build data centers, both here, and hopefully we'll have one in Amsterdam soon enough. And the second part, which is very sexy and everyone understands, which with digital transformation, we'll be doing platform as a service and all those good stuff. The end game, of course, is also to have a purpose. So the purpose is right on the rightmost box, if you see, leading clean IT. Enough for me to just give you an idea. Everyone seems to understand green IT. Think what clean IT means and watch this space. With all of that, we're all looking forward to our 25th anniversary towards the end of the year, and I'm sure I'll invite most of you, if not all of you, who are present here today. Thank you. That's my 1 minute, 2 minute.
All right, fantastic. With the support of your slides, Prabha, I'm sure we will do some great things together. Thank you all three for your input. Wishing you all the best, and of course, a lot of fun and success this year. Actually, today I also heard that one of our close government agencies, the Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, also celebrates 25 years. Important milestone for MDEC, who have been instrumental in greatly improving the digital landscape of Malaysia. Thank you and have a great year. And we'll definitely do something with MDEC as well this year. Ladies and gentlemen, you have read that MDBC will have a logo launch today. You also know that for the past couple of years, MDBC has been a part of a newly initiated global network of Dutch chambers, the NL Business Hubs Network, which is initiated by NL in Business in The Hague, who also provided the accreditation for MDBC in 2019. This network is the reason for the amended logo, and to tell you more about this, and the network is Edo Offerhaus, the Managing Director of NL in Business. I know that we're already over time. We still need to show you the MDBC history video and have a quiz for you. So please stick around for a little bit longer, hopefully another 20 minutes or so. Edo will speak for a couple of minutes. Edo, over to you, Edo. Go ahead, please. Thank you for waiting.
Yeah, Marco, it's lovely to be here. Remco, also good to see you, Mr. Jacobi, all members of the MDBC. It's lovely to be here. I see a lot of faces of friends. I've been a couple of times to Kuala Lumpur myself, also in previous roles. First of all, I would like to start, like you did, with one of your associates with a short word regarding the passing away of Mr. Hans de Boer. And I would like to do so because he also liked Kuala Lumpur and Malaysia a lot. It has a special place in his heart. And it was also for a large part based on the public-private partnership in which you all operate and work. We visited Mr. Hans de Boer, Angelique Hel and myself together with Prime Minister Rutte and Minister Kaag 3 years ago on a trade mission. And it was a very impressive trade mission, not only because we paid a lot of attention to the bilateral trade relationship, but as many of you know, Mr. Hans de Boer was very much into gender equality and in female participation. And one of the highlights of that whole trade visit was the get-together of all female entrepreneurs at the residence of Karin, the ambassador at that time. I was not invited myself for obvious reasons, but I heard that he spoke at length about his daughter and the opportunities his daughter has and how he believes in the strength of female participation. And I had a lot of drinks with him on airports and business lounges, and his visit to Kuala Lumpur always came back, and was a marvelous person, and we will live and continue to drive the ideas that he was strong at. But I received quite a lot of warm messages from you all, and I would like to say that it's highly appreciated. And know that Mr. Hans de Boer was always a big supporter, and we will continue in that role. Having said that, he was therefore also one of the founding fathers of NL in Business. NL in Business has been initiated to support Dutch entrepreneurs in their international expansion. Right from the start, we've paid a lot of emphasis where do we think these Dutch entrepreneurs should go to, and how can we support them properly. Now, to identify what we call cities of opportunities, we looked at the opportunities in different marketplaces, but specifically also at the strength of the Dutch public-private network. And it is not a surprise that from that perspective, Kuala Lumpur popped up as one of the top cities of opportunities. And that was for a large part inspired by the good work of the MDBC, but also the close association with the public Dutch infrastructure, the embassy in Malaysia. And we use that as what we call a best of class to also inspire other cities around the world to set up a similar structure. So you celebrate 25 years of the MDBC in Malaysia. For us, you have been a very important stepping stone building block for a global structure, which we call the network of NL business hubs. Now, at the same time, the national government looked at the nation branding. We had the Holland logo and the tulip, and we transferred that to NL. And we think that suits our positioning as a country much better. It is the Netherlands, it is the Kingdom of the Netherlands, with all innovation capabilities, water management, all the top sectors that we have. So the government came up with the NL logo, and for our part, we try to join all the forces with the private sector. Now you can imagine in art and culture, there is a subsector in sports, there's NOC and SW, and in the private sector, it's NL in business. And so under the umbrella of the new NL logo, we implement our own strategies on behalf of the Dutch business community. Now, that also required a quick assessment of the logo we use and the logo our partners use. And in honesty, we have also adapted our orange color to the orange color used in the NL logo. And the NBC has gone through a similar logo adjustment. Now we all do that so we can become stronger in a competitive international environment. We want to promote the bilateral trade relationship between the Netherlands and Malaysia, and we want to promote the strength of the Dutch companies and entrepreneurs. And if we join forces with the government, with a global network of NL business hubs, and with you and your members, I think we can have a much bigger impact for the buck that we invest in this. So it is a matter of alignment. It stands for the quality and the way of working. I'm very pleased that we have come to this new logo in good partnership. I would like to thank you once again for all your support. You have really and truly been an inspiration for a lot of other cities around the world, other countries around the world. And we also strongly work with your colleagues in the other Asian countries to build a strong ASEAN network. But for now, it is about Malaysia, it's about the MDBC. On behalf of all your friends and colleagues in the Netherlands, a really historic moment. Now I would like to give the floor back to Marco and Remco for the follow-up of this program.
Thank you very much, Edo. And yeah, we do know, of course, the special recognition that has to be given to Mr. Hans de Boer here at this moment. He's been indeed instrumental in supporting our global network of Dutch business hubs. You already mentioned the colleagues in ASEAN. I would like to acknowledge my good friend and colleague in Bangkok, heading the Netherlands Thai Chamber of Commerce. Hans, are you still online? You were just online, I think you were. But it's a great friendship and a great support. And it's also great that Bangkok has also gotten its accreditation. So we work together a lot. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying on the line at this moment. Now a very special moment, the MDBC history movie with the logo launches towards the end. Our 25th anniversary logo, designed by Jocelyn, and the amended MDBC logo, which Ada was just talking about, going for the corporate standard colors, NL branding, blue and orange. Watch the screen, things move fast, and it would be a good idea to really watch it closely because some of the questions, some of the pictures and some of the elements will come back in the pub quiz after this. So, all right, Adeline, drum roll. Are we ready? Here comes the MDBC video brought to you by Pico. All right, there we go. With a big thank you to Pico for all the colleagues at Pico for producing this video for the MDBC. Much appreciated. And also thank you to our airline partners, KLM and Firefly, for having the right colors today, working with blue and orange to deliver our new logos. Ladies and gentlemen, usually, of course, we would have a logo unveiling. So we kind of missed that situation this year. So what we decided is right now, with the colleagues in the office, we do want to have a little bit of unveiling. All right, so I would like to put on my mask and invite our office manager, Bernadette, events manager, Adeline, and communications executive, Joanna, to join us here for a little bit of unveiling. Let me also put on my mask, okay? And by the way, Joanna was the person who compiled all the videos of the member input today. All right, here we go for some unveiling live on TV. Ta-da, 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 ta-da. The two logos. Thank you, colleagues. All right. There you go, colleagues. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, MDBC now in blue and orange. As you know, I love orange, so I'm doubly happy with this new color coding for our logos. Not in the office today, but yeah, with the team throughout the event in this pandemic are, of course, Jocelyn, our communications manager, Yolanda, our student internship manager, and Solo, our research executive. Next week, we will include 2 new Dutch interns as well, who will start their internship online with us next week. All right, let me also take this opportunity to express our appreciation to our sponsors this year, most of whom you see on this new bunting. We have here our 25th anniversary patrons, BASI, HQ Pack, NL in Business, Shell, Signify, and Hibiscus Petroleum. And then over here, our other premium partners for this year, Bolloré, Boskalis, Dutch Lady Milk Industries, Verhart, Enza Zaden, Maida, Misi, Randstad, Unilever, Actiforce, Basis Bay, Frames, Intermovers, Keo Capone, and Kingsman. Thank you so much for making it possible for MDBC to plan many more activities around our 25th anniversary, such as expanding our ConnectSphere virtual platform on the Kivel from Kingsman, the virtual MDBC village this year, where we want to build a virtual directory with all of you, all our members. Of course, expansion of our awards program and several other activities. Next week, Thursday, 4th of February, we'll bring you the Outlook 2021 event, and if circumstances allow, together with the embassy, we will organize a larger live networking event after Chinese New Year. All right, now let's, this last 15-20 minutes, let's have some fun together. The MDBC quiz or the pub quiz. We will bring you 12 questions via Mentimeter. Quizmaster, please put up the slides for our audience to prepare. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you watch the video carefully, because as I said, there will be a few answers from paying close attention, some of events or activities over the years with the specific years, of course. Go to menti.com, scan the QR code, and then the code 8666649. All right, go for it. Yes. There will be some fun, of course, and useful prizes available for the top scorers. Knowledge and speed are important. The faster you give an answer, the more points you will win. All right, provided, of course, you have the correct scoring, correct answer. Okay, Quizmaster, shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good luck, everybody. Go for it.
Can you try talking now from now?
Yeah, I think we're ready to go. Sorry, every time we try something new with our activities online. There we go. Everybody ready? Okay, let's go, guys. All right, those three chairmen were Dato Abdullah Ali, Dato Jafar Indot, and Zainul Rahim. Next question. The faster the better. Simon and Jörg. All right, question 2. For the longest time. Yes, more than 130 years, I believe. Dutch lady has been here about 55 years. Unilever also a very long time though. And KLM has had flights to KL non-stop for I think also about 60 years right now. So great support from those multinationals. The name of MDBC's quarterly magazine, produced completely in-house. Please remember to send us your editorial contributions. We can always use more members' news, more features, more dialogues, more quality input. Ooh, a few people still had that wrong. We have to make sure that you read the magazine a bit more. The last edition just came out. Sester, you're doing pretty good. Which year was the MDBC Penang chapter launched? We have the current as well as the former Penang representatives also in the program. I'm sure some people will know. Actually, that was the same day that we launched it that the embassy had to end their honorary consulate in Penang. (2010). All right. We tried to celebrate the 10th anniversary last year. That was very difficult under the circumstances. We'll try again this year together with our colleagues in Penang. All right, Sabrina, doing well. Remco, I didn't expect anything else, of course. Candice, Simon, Sabrina, wow. All right. Yeah, Yolanda's baby. How many babies has Yolanda had over this all these years? Hundreds or thousands? About 1,300, correct. The last few years we had more than 100 a year. 2 intakes every year, February and September. Of course, it's going to be difficult at this moment. All right, Candice, ahead of the pack. Candice, well done. Only been a board member since last year. Which director is currently the longest serving on the board of directors, ladies and gentlemen? You see those 4 pictures. You recognize all of them, I'm sure. Tricky question, this. Let's see the answers. No, no, no. I'm not an official member of the board of directors, ladies and gentlemen. The board of directors is overseeing me and my team. Remco knew that. And a few others as well. All right, you just saw in view one of the ladies in our team. Been with MDBC for about 7 years, I believe. 6, 7 years. Me and my girls, me and my ladies, and sometimes, hopefully, a couple of male student interns. Ooh, yes. Bernadette, Bern, Bernie, Adeline is events, Jocelyn is communications, and Yolanda is internship. It's pretty exciting at the top, guys. It's crowded on the top. Exciting leaderboard. All right. We have to deduct some points from members of the board of directors later. All right, you've seen Mr. Theo Arnold in view just now. His son is still in Malaysia after all these years and an MDBC member. What's his name and company? He was in the show just now. I'm not sure if he still is. All right. Glad to see that the majority has the correct answer. Richard Arnold of Euro-Asia Access, providing facilities for, also for example, for monorail, easier access for people that have more problems with walking the stairs up. Our highlight in 2019. We've spoken about it a few times today already. Do you like the color behind me, by the way? Oh, or am I bringing you now in the wrong direction? Okay, I didn't divert anybody's attention. The accreditation with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Edo from NLM Business. Tom, you're doing very well. 2 bonus questions, ladies and gentlemen. The final run, come on. Uh-oh, when I'm not busy networking, where can you find me?
In the gym.
Oh no, that's false instruction. Everything but that, no. Or all of the above, no. Yes, oh my God, that must have been the easiest question of everything so far, right? Who is Skids? Somebody has a name Skids here. We don't know your name. You cannot get a prize. Last question. Go for it. Here we go. Final spurt. 4 companies that were part of the MDBC Foundation in 1996 that are still a member today. Not easy. Yes, I'm sad to say TNT, ladies and gentlemen, is no longer a member after they were bought over by FedEx. They were forced to stop their membership about a couple of years ago, unfortunately. So yes, this is Heineken, KLM, KPMG. Sorry, KPMG. The K of KPMG is stands for Krefeld. That's a Dutch part as well, and Shell. 4 very reputable companies. Of course, a Dutch lady, Philips, Unilever, have also been a member since quite the beginning. ABN AMRO Bank, ING Insurance, Macro, P&O, Netloyd are all companies that we've lost over the years. Dutch multinationals that were bought over by other companies. Ultimately, we lost them. We could have been so much stronger even than we are today. But yeah, that's the situation. In some cases, of course, we see a split in a company like Philips and Signify, and it's wonderful that Signify has now also come up as a very active member and supporter. The other companies, Activeforce, Basi APAC, and Zazaden and HQPAC are very strong supporters of MDBC, but not yet for the full 25 years. All right, Edelwin, can we see the final results? Let me take a picture of that. Tom Kroll, Prime, I think.
Yes.
Well done, Tom. Tom was a student intern in Malaysia under our program, quite at the beginning. I think it was 2005, 2006, Tom. If you can open your microphone, Tom, you're welcome to say something as well.
Hi, yes. I was actually 2007 when I started my internship at the MDBC. So still have some knowledge left. Happy to win.
Yeah, of course, Tom also became the president of the Netherlands Association, so he's very closely related to all of us, and he apparently keeps his facts correct. Very good.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the other participants as well.
Right,
Thanks, Tom. See you later.
Cheers.
We'll
Bye.
get you some nice prizes as well as the other ones in the team. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think that brings us to about the end of the show. Thank you for staying with us. We are at least half an hour over time. It's been a fantastic run. With the team, I would like to thank all our colleagues. We worked so hard on this event. When the live New Year's reception together with the embassy had to be cancelled or postponed rather, we moved to do this event, tried to do everything in one, which was, of course, not the easiest, as you could see with the timing today. Overwhelming response again. It was fantastic to have all these ambassadors with us. Great round of applause for them making time for us. The patrons, the former, my predecessors, some of whom are still online right now. Sanna, Jur, Barbara, fantastic. Unfortunately, Sandra couldn't join us. And other colleagues in the Malaysian Dutch community, diplomatic, government, as well as corporate. All right, to all who have played a role in these 25 years, thank you so much for your support. All the nice words that were said earlier could not have happened without your support. Whether it was organizing an event, supporting us with guidance, office space, financial support, sponsorship, etc., etc., etc. It's all been fantastic. In Malaysia, in the Netherlands as well, on some occasions, with some of ambassadors, with NL Business, with other partners. It's really been a good time. Thank you for making us reach this level. we will definitely not stop here, although we do want to plan to have a long weekend right now. There's a public holiday tomorrow and a public holiday in KL on Monday as well. So we're going to have a little bit of a break here by now, but you'll see us back on the 4th of February for the Outlook. And I think that's it. Yeah, enjoy the long weekend. Me and my team will definitely do that. We very much appreciate all your involvement. Thank you so much. See you soon. It's been
Thanks,
a very
everybody. Thanks, Marco.
emotional day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.